Hi, I'm Tony Stoughton, Irish bartender out of Chicago. After years of drinking, I decided to take a year off. So as I begin my journey, I decided to ask fellow bartenders what they do to stay healthy and avoid the industry hazards of the bar business. Welcome to Wide Awake 52. Bill Bassler, welcome to Wide Awake 52. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. So you're quite a guy. You've had quite a fun life so far. You're a veteran, Marine, a Vietnam veteran, an engineer, and a former bartender. So we brought you in today. Thanks for coming to talk about your experiences as a bartender in the 70s. You said
70s and a little bit in the 80s. So of course, being a Marine and trying to go to school at the same time, you never have enough money because they won't pay you a lot, especially
Sure.
back in the 70s. So bartending was a way of earn extra money. I think my first job was at the Officers Club, working for a 30-year Hilton retiree. And for basically the first year, I was a glorified barback. But it was very tiring because you have a full-time job as a Marine, and then of course you work from 4 till 2 o'clock in the morning. And you never left at 2 o'clock in the morning because you weren't allowed to drink on the job. So as you clean up, you're sneaking shots, or the bartenders pour you shots and stuff like that. So it wasn't a very good lifestyle, but it did bring the money in that allowed me to do the other things that I wanted to do.
So describe the culture of hospitality, and not specifically just the Officers Club, but at that time when you'd go out and you'd meet your other friends who bartended at other places. Was it all like heavy drinking, socializing?
Heavy drinking, socializing. You get up at 4 in the morning, nothing's open, so you ended up tendency to go to either another, a bartender's house or waitress's or whatever, and then party there till late, till you had to go back to work.
Sure, so like 6 in the
And on
morning
weekends, being not having duties during the weekends, you party till 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, sleep all day, and then go back to work.
But do you think it's the same now, or do you think it has changed?
I think it's changed a little bit now because I think we've gotten smarter as people, and we have a tendency to be health nuts and pay attention to what we do. I do see, though, in restaurants in the area, restaurants in Southwest Michigan, I see the same habits there. Bartenders and waitresses have a tendency to be friends. They get off work and they party because they work all day. So I don't think it's changed much.
So you think the whole cycle of work your ass off and then
I think it's very prevalent today.
Go and drink your face off afterward, that's still alive?
That's still alive. I think some people have gotten smarter, but because of the lifestyle, it's very hard to... I think also it's very hard to date a non-person or a person who's not in the bar business.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the hours, number one. You're getting home by the time they're getting up to go to work. So that makes it very hard for relationships. So I think you have a tendency, if you're a bartender, you go with bartenders or bar backs, waitresses, whatever, in the hostess business, in the service business.
Sure, basically anyone you work with, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So yes, you don't think the 70s weren't as wild as they weren't wilder than they are now?
I don't think so. I think the 80s was the wildest. The 80s bar business, a lot of the liquor laws got changed. In North Carolina in the late 80s, it was a lot of party clubs, a lot of dance clubs came in. The bar scene was very active. It was very, a lot of bars, a lot of mixed bars, a lot of dart leagues, pool leagues, and all those were hosted by bars. And so I think that was more of a kind of a wide open time in the 80s than what I see now, even now.
Because you said that in the old days, people just died earlier.
Yes.
And that was accepted. That was just common practice.
Yeah, I mean...
people who work in the hospitality industry.
Right.
I should rephrase.
Yeah, I mean, the average lifetime or life age of a bartender was around 50 or 60 years back then.
Oh wow! So I'm getting up there now. Huh? I should be getting ready to kick the bucket.
But it was a hard lifestyle. And
you have to. Yeah, I mean, if you keep behaving like the way you were in your 20s when you're in your 40s, obviously that's not really. I mean, you don't have to be I have a PhD in medicine to figure that out. That's probably not the best idea for your overall health, right?
Yeah, and I think bars have changed a lot too. In the 70s, there were a lot of just bars. There was no food, no music. You just kind of went in there and drank.
It was a meeting point.
But you also, I think now it's more of you want to go out for a dinner or you want to go out for bar food and have some entertainment when you go.
So what was better in the 70s that's not as good now, and what's better now that wasn't as good as in the 70s?
Everyone is trying so many different things with syrups and fruit juices, and I think we've kind of forgot the basics of basic bartending.
So you think we should go back to this, because if you ask any guy on the street how to make a Randy Alexander, they're going to look at you.
Right.
Or Harvey Wallbanger, they'll be like, what is that?
But the other thing too is, it's just simple things. I would say 6 out of 10 times I have to explain to a bartender what a twist of lemon is. It's not a wedge. It's the oil of the lemon that you want, especially if you drink gin.
So you're saying we need to get back to the basics?
We need to get back to the basics.
And what would you say to young bartenders now, in 2020, in the year 2020? How would you, as you say, keep it, so you're saying simplify the drinks, but what else would you,
watch the lifestyle. Try to get out of the habit of, getting off at 2 o'clock in the morning and go eat all night long and then party all night.
Yeah.
I think it kills the body early, and you want to avoid that.
Bill, thanks for coming on. Sure. Cheers. Pleasure.